Welcome back to Barely There. My name's Max.
We can't welcome anybody back. This is the first episode.
Well, if we say welcome back to Barely There,
It's the first episode.
it's the next episode.
Welcome back to Barely There.
When we say it next episode, it won't be. So we get into the habit.
Welcome back to Barely There. My name's Brendan.
My name's Max.
And this is Barely There. Essentially, it's just a show about us two idiots who are both barely there between the ears and kind of in our clothes.
And this is a show we've wanted to do for like a while. Like for the better part of a decade, if not that, even more. We've just been two best friends with,
way too much time on our hands.
Way
to
too
not
much.
be doing something like this. Way too much time.
Way too much time on our hands and way too much of a voice. Way too many ideas not to be just absolutely pouring our brain contents into a microphone and seeing what comes of it. So we figured now's the right time. And before we started recording, in case you were wondering how barely there we are, I think we went through a couple dead batteries.
A couple is an understatement.
Yeah, so when we went to go press record on the camera that I intentionally, from the very beginning, wanted to do the podcast on, and I've been messing with it today just because Brendan's been over for a while. And as we would go to press record, the battery's dead. So I'm like, well, I have to take the cord out of the audio interface, or the what is it? The Zoom recorder, and put it into the camera to charge. And I'm like, all right, let's do backup camera. We get camera number 2, and it's a DSLR camera. This is just a point and shoot. But the DSLR, I was like getting all the settings and whatever. Go to take a picture of Brendan's feet. Camera number 2's dead. So I'm like, well, might as well record on my phone as you would. And you pull out I go to pull out my phone.
Phone's dead.
Yeah, phone's dead. So then we figured we might as well just record the audio. So that is 3 dead batteries. And then we're like, might as well just record audio. And so I go to turn on the Zoom recorder, and I unplugged it to put it into the camera so it doesn't turn on. And then I was like, well, why did it should be running on external battery, like that 100%. And we flip it over and the external battery's dead. So there's the 4th dead battery within trying to get this thing off the ground.
Max doesn't charge things is the moral of the story. He doesn't charge things.
Yeah, moral of the story is that it's the first episode and we're already on life support.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so
yeah, that's a very moral example of the collective, amount of brain cells between us two individuals.
And I guess since it's our first episode, it's like we really just kind of wanted to reminisce on like how we met. Like the story of why this union is.
We have 2 very different interpretations of certain parts, so you're going to hear us argue.
You're about to hear 2 sides of what sounds like a different story, but we guarantee is not.
So do you want to tell them first?
So how we met actually was in high school marching band of all places. We went to high school here in Pennsylvania, and I did the marching band for years, and I actually met Brent's twin brother before I just called you Brent.
Yeah, that's my twin brother.
I met Brendan's twin brother, before I ever met Brendan. I actually knew him for years beforehand because he played tuba. And I was on the horn for a minute. But once I eventually switched to drumline, Brendan was joining the drumline in the same year. Mm-hmm. And this is where we start to get a little fuzzy.
So to my personal interpretation of the story, which to my memory is objective fact,
and which I respect,
you didn't like me at first. You didn't like me at all. In fact, you have gone out of your way to express your disinterest in me in a way that I will not describe, other than you were just mean. And I, like the beautiful human being I am, decided that I was just going to keep poking at you until I eventually got you to be like, okay, maybe this guy's all right.
See, I do agree that we like slowly and mutually homogenized into a friendship. I do agree on that.
That's a word.
It is. Yeah, totally. But the way I saw it was like I already loved your brother. So it was like I had nothing against you. And this is going to be another crazy like brain scratch. We had not met, but like passed each other previously in our before we like met and became friends. We had crossed paths at 2014 Soft Hop.
We did.
Yes,
we did.
I was there with a girl above me, and you were there with your girlfriend
Yep.
at the time. We were waiting for them in the lobby, and I remember looking, and I was like, I know Brent has a twin. And I remember this word for word. I went, "Are you Brent's twin?" Mm-hmm. And you were like, "Yes, I am. Yes, I am." And we talked in the lobby for like 15 minutes while waiting on our dates.
Yeah, and then we went different ways. Never talked
Radio
again
silent.
until we met again in Drumline.
Until we
That
met.
was it.
See, I do believe the interpretation that I was mean at some point. I just personally don't remember it. I just don't have the. But I believe it. I mean,
I'm not going to argue further about it.
I would never argue with you. But
you argue with me regularly.
I think yeah. But for this, I mean, just out of the memory repository, no, I don't think I was mean. But I do believe that I could have been construed as mean. But I'm not a mean person.
That's entirely fair. And I'm not saying it to make it seem like you're, a bad dude.
I mean, of
obviously
course.
don't think that.
No.
I mean, I've, put up with you for years now.
You don't think I'm a bad person?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't.
Do you think I'm a mean person?
No.
Okay.
Got a mean bone in your body.
Because there's mean people and there's bad people.
Okay, there's mean people, there's bad people. I don't think, you can choose to be mean. I don't think you ever have.
Yeah.
All right. You're generally a very happy and energetic person to a point where I think you forget that there are other emotions than happiness at times. Like you're just one speed and it's very fast all the time, mostly smiling. Like,
Very true. Very true.
which is generally the case for a lot of times that I could remember us being around each other. Like pretty much any time that we were anywhere involved in Drumline, there was almost always a chase sequence for me. And it's not because like something bad was happening. It's that you do not go slowly.
No.
You don't go slowly. Like I'm generally very relaxed a lot of the times. Like I'll go.
This is very
I'll take
true.
my time
Yeah.
whenever I'm going from A to B. You are just a few, steps short of a sprint all
Yeah.
the time.
It's really funny because that part I definitely agree with. I have always been very erratic, very full of energy, but I have so many distinct memories. I'm going to talk about one in a second. Of you just being like always a remarkably not you're also a very happy person just like me. Like you also love happiness, but just remarkably calm in like moments where like how could anybody be calm right now? Like this is in good ways and bad ways. Like of course when anything crazy goes down, you're always the first like person to chest up, which I love. But then also the memory I'm going to talk about is that we were at a marching band competition. Oh my God, of all things, how many marching band stories are we going to go over?
Too many.
But it was my first year in the drumline, and we went to a competition that was hosted by another school that would always get voted best percussion. And yeah, and I'm not even going to say the school.
Yeah,
we're gonna shit on this school one day. But we were that school was hosting it. That word's good, by the way. That's on the list.
Oh
yeah. And the school that usually gets voted best percussion was hosting, so they couldn't compete. So therefore, we got best percussion by default. And we still needed to have a really good show. We had a really good show. We were all waiting in anticipation on the back fence for the results. Mm-hmm. And they announced, and in best percussion, whatever it was, and it was dead silent. And I was the only person who was like, yeah! Oh, yeah! And then I was like jumping, and like, not only like our school, the whole stands turned and looked at me, and I was like, why am I the only one celebrating?
It was awesome.
It was awesome that we got
No, it was awesome that everyone, me included, looked at you.
because like it wasn't a weird thing to celebrate. I wasn't like rubbing it in anyone's face. I should clarify. But that night, I was like, why did no one else celebrate? Like we've always celebrated every time we got like any kind of reward. And then I remember it was you, Joe, and Josh, and then I just stopped. I was like, why is nobody celebrating? And then you just look at me and you go, it's about being humble, man.
I do remember this. I remember this very vividly. It was the funniest thing ever because we were like, all right, guys, if we do really good, we're not going to get all loud and ignorant.
That I don't remember either.
This, that, and it. We were saying this. You didn't hear a word about it because you were looking somewhere else. I know you were because you were this far away from me at the time that I said it. And when it, or not I said it, Corin said it.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're just going to be cool. And we did really well. We had a great show. We ended up getting the award. And everybody else was just like, dang near parade rests quiet.
And
like,
one of us didn't listen.
And one of us didn't hear it. And he screamed at the top of his lungs, just, yeah! Like he's all hype.
Yeah.
And everyone just
you could hear the shift.
It was, I can't put into words how awesome that moment was.
It was pretty crazy.
It was the funniest thing that could have happened that entire evening. Everybody except for me was upset at you for having done it. And
were they?
A little bit. They were just like,
oh, okay.
It's like we were trying to set an image, we were trying to, set an impression because, humility and this, that, and the other. And
then here I come.
Yeah. I thought it was awesome. Because
I thought it was great, yeah.
you can't, that was something out of like a really bad old early 2000s comedy. Like,
oh yeah.
Like just perfect silence except for one dude. It's been written 1,000 times in other bits and videos and movies and whatever. That is a classic. And I got to watch it happen organically.
Yeah.
So I thought it was amazing.
What my favorite thing about that memory though, and that actually I didn't know that we supposedly had pre-planned not celebrating because we wanted to look cool. See, this is the first I'm hearing of this. But even hearing this, my favorite thing about this memory is that like I'm not embarrassed. No, I was happy.
Awesome.
It was awesome. I was like, it's like we have so many stories from high school, especially me. I have so many stories from high school where you do this thing, you're like, why the hell would I? Or like, why did I? And you're so embarrassed. But it's like, I have so many stories of like reacting like that. And I'm like, yeah, that's just how I was, or how I am for that matter.
Yeah. I mean, it hasn't changed even a little bit. Like, we will be out somewhere, and if you decide to be loud, you will be loud.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't changed at all. The only thing that's changed about you, personality-wise, is the fact that you understand that you're a few years older. That's about it.
Yeah, that's the fact that you understand. That's an important distinction.
That's about it. That's about it. You haven't changed even a little bit. Like, you remember that one time that we were all going out for dinner, and that lady and her daughter were going down the street the wrong way. Mm-hmm. And everybody in the car was like, oh, they're going down the street the wrong way. Oh, no. Mm-hmm. You rolled down the window and pointed and laughed as loud as you possibly could that the whole block could hear it. And they, too, heard it, looked at you like you were some serial killer because you are the only man on the street that saw something that is very normal happening, which is people going down the street the wrong way because we live in a place where some people don't.
They were driving, by the way. They were driving towards us on a one-way street, and they got stuck. Mm-hmm. And as they got stuck doing something they were clearly not supposed to be doing, I began to point and laugh. And
you didn't just point and laugh. You put your upper body out the window.
Did not roll down a window. Did not roll down a window. I know because I was on the other side of the car. We're getting off-camera confirmation that I did stick my upper half off the window, but I personally can tell you I wasn't allowed to because they were on the other side of it. I know for a fact that I did not stick my upper half out the window. I can be gaslit as anybody. Okay. And in my defense, the reason I did this in the first place is because it was really, really funny.
I mean, it was.
It was really
I'm telling
funny.
you now, if it happened again, especially if it was the same people, I'd do it with you.
How can we police the wrong activity from happening again besides shame? What better way to police things? As humans,
I can't argue that.
I'm not going to make a citizen's arrest, I'm not going to call the police, but
No, I
if
can't
you
argue that.
point and
If you
laugh
point-
at people doing the wrong thing societally, normalize pointing and laughing at people making
Bring back shame. Remember, kids, it's okay to point and laugh as long as what they were doing was wrong.
Speaking of wrong, I wanted to bring you back onto another topic of what I believe is wrong, because we had a pizza earlier.
Okay.
And for centuries, the traditional way to cut a pizza is you cut it in half again, and you just continue to have things. But I'm like a firm believer this is wrong. So
You don't like the
I don't like the 8.
you don't
No.
like the you don't like
You'll notice earlier I cut my pizza into 12. And the way you do this is that you half it, and then you cut your quarters into thirds. It's really not that hard. And I'll tell you what. What?
You cut quarters into thirds.
You cut quarters into thirds.
Okay, keep going.
Yeah, because the 8-slice pizza is only good for groups of 1 person, 2 people, 4 people, or 8 people. Anything out of that, you have to divide unevenly. So if you want to divide more evenly, if you want to divide evenly upon a wider variety of friends numbers, you need to cut your pizza into 12, because it is shareable amongst 1 people, 2 people, 3 people, 4 people,
1 people.
6 people, 1. Yes, 1 people. They're people too, the singulars, and 12 people. I mean, that is so many more groups. So that I think we need to invent this. I think we need to normalize this as well. Cutting pizza into 12s, that is.
I mean, it did work in that scenario earlier today, so I can't say that you're wrong.
What's your take on it?
I mean, I've always only ever seen it cut in 8s. I've only ever seen it cut.
Don't you think
8
it's a
pieces.
problem?
I've never had it be a problem.
You've only ever seen pizza cut into 8s.
Yes, sir. It's been a part of my way of life.
My man's never seen a whole pizza in his life. This is absurd.
I've only ever seen it cut in 8s. It's just how it's been all the time.
My guy is allergic to 6-sliced pizza. You've never had a slice?
You've had a pizza cut only in 6 slices.
I sure have.
6 massive slices.
I'll tell you where to get one right now.
Where?
And
Don't advertise it. Don't advertise it. We're
not a sponsor, but you can walk into any Target, and then if you get like the little Pizza Hut personal ones, those are cut into 6. I swear on my life. Small personal pizzas are cut into 6.
Okay. You know what that is though?
What?
It's a personal. It's for you.
Is it cut into 6?
Okay.
I don't know.
That's fair. It is cut into 6.
Even into
But it's for you. It's for you. It's one of those little ones that they cut into 6 just so that way you have slices instead of one big tiny pie to have to like bite into.
I mean, it's a smaller slice. I mean, I guess it depends on that. But here's the other thing: is if you can cut a personal pizza into 6, tell me if I'm wrong. If you can cut a personal pizza into 6, you can cut a large pizza into 6.
You can cut a small pizza into 12ths, like you did.
Yeah,
a big pizza
but
into
then the
12.
cheese starts to smear into the creases of the previous
That's
cuts,
semantics.
and we start to lose. It is. I mean, yeah, but I'm talking about. What am I talking about? I've completely lost where I am.
You're talking about the amount of slices.
Let's get back on track.
That makes it compatible to specific friend group numbers.
Can you or can you not cut a large pizza into 6?
Yes.
Correct. So then you can cut those 6 into halves. That might even be the better way.
12ths.
We no longer have to cut quarters into thirds. We've come such a long way since beginning this conversation. This is the power of cutting a pizza into 12s. You can approach it any way you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just having free will in a pizza cutter.
Are you for cutting pizza into 12s, or are you against it?
I'm not saying I'm for or against it. You can cut it whichever way you want.
You'll probably still eat it.
It's a pizza.
What's your favorite pizza topping?
Favorite pizza topping?
I'm a vegetarian, so it's like I don't really get pizza with toppings. I haven't had like a topping on my pizza.
I'm kind of basic, Max. I kind of like pepperoni.
That's okay. Before I stopped eating meat, I've been a vegetarian for almost 11 years. Before I stopped eating meat, when I was like 12, 13, 14-year-olds, pepperoni is my favorite.
Yeah, I'm a little basic.
I had it like exclusively.
I am a little basic. Pepperoni's just that's my go-to. If it's not like a plain cheese pizza.
And then what is your favorite pizza place?
What is my favorite pizza? I couldn't really tell you.
Really?
It is a rule at my family's house that we swap whatever place we order from pizza wise ever so often in case we get sick of the previous one.
We should take notes on this. I like this.
Well, my dad's a pescatarian, so he doesn't really eat a lot of he doesn't eat red meat.
He's afraid of fish.
It's not what that means.
So he doesn't eat meat. I got you.
It means he only eats fish as like a form of protein.
Okay.
Outside of like, your soy-based and plant-based products.
That's pretty crazy. So you do not have a favorite pizza place?
Not.
Do you have a favorite food place?
Do I have a favorite food place? Like in general?
Yeah, in general. Any food. I don't even know if you have a favorite food.
Well, to be honest with you, probably one of my favorite foods that are out there. I love a good halal cart.
Okay.
I do. I love a good halal cart. I like halal in general. It's like the food's good.
Halal. Sorry.
Oh my god.
That was just a stem.
Yeah. Just a little tism.
Josie, my sister Josie also loves halal, and so anytime halal's ordered, halal, it rings through the household. I swear. Anyways, sorry.
I'm glad that that's you and Josie
and my dad.
Yeah,
I think he's actually the one who coined that one. Halal.
Oh my god, I can't stand you guys.
Yeah, it's different over here, man.
Yeah. If you're somebody who, granted, I'm not saying that you as a vegetarian might like it because I think the only option for you would be falafel.
Probably.
I personally don't like falafel, so I wouldn't recommend it. But if you like falafel, it's all for you.
I gotta try falafel.
I've
been told many good things about it.
I personally don't like it. I don't know if it's just a me thing. Maybe I just have the palate of an 8-year-old, but I like. I will always regularly get. They have lamb at these places. I usually get lamb over rice with a little side salad. But that's usually my go-to.
Is that the favorite meal? Is that the favorite food?
I'd say so.
Okay.
I'd say so. Plus, it's like it sounds expensive. It's not.
I really am. Well, that's the best part.
That's the crazy thing. It's good for you, or so I've heard. They give you it in a pretty decent amount, and it's not super expensive. So you're not killing your wallet.
Is the city of food?
Yeah, not everything's cheap.
I'm gonna catch gripe for that one.
You are.
I'm I actually really am sticking my neck out on the line talking about cuisine on a podcast, to the internet, because I'm a vegetarian and also in general a pretty picky eater. So when people hear what I have and have not tried as a vegetarian,
they're gonna dig at you.
It's gonna happen.
First thing that's gonna happen is people are gonna be critiquing your taste in food.
My favorite food, however, is pizza and French fries, and my favorite pizza and French fries spot is actually.
Okay.
That's
fair.
It's the greatest pizza in the world, and bro, I've had it in Italy, I've had it in New York, Miami, I've had Texas. I've had pizza freaking everywhere I went. And it's still, even my New Yorker cousins, family, uncle, they all agree. They've come here and it's that's the best slice of pizza you can get. Crazy. Right. Crazy.
I'm not going to argue that. You got enough people on your side.
No, you're right.
I don't know.
Anyways, speaking of favorite things, this is what I wanted to blindside you with, is that we have an unsettled question between us that
Who's us?
You and I.
We have an unsettled question?
You and I asked you a question the other day. I actually never got an answer out of you.
Okay.
Yeah. So it brings us back to the desert island, which we've all been to. Yeah.
Okay.
So the question is, comment down below or participate however you feel. If you're on a desert island and you have 2 plugs, one for a TV, one for a system, no Wi-Fi, it's just you. What game are you taking?
What game am I taking?
On what system?
On what system? no Wi-Fi, no nothing. So that means I can't play multiplayer.
Which is a tough bet.
That's insane.
Because like the reason you have to rule out multiplayer is like if you can communicate in any way that you're
Then
stuck
it's
on an
not
island.
deserted.
Yeah, it's not deserted.
It's not deserted. That's so fair, though.
Yeah.
That's so fair.
You can almost frame it as like last man on Earth. You're stuck in a room. What game do you hope's in that room?
Can I have a series of games, or is it just one game?
Oh, let's live out both. I'll let you pick the series in one world, but right now we're living in the world where you just get the one game. So give me the game and then give me the series, and you can have both in your respective universes.
If I had to pick a single game, where it was just me, I had nothing else, I couldn't do anything other than play that one game, I would need something with a really good replayable loop to it. And something, hopefully, that I don't need to plug in to have played. So I'm going with Hades.
Wow. I like that. Was that also going to be your series?
No.
So it's just your one thing.
I haven't even played. There's a second game coming out.
That is
I haven't
true.
Played the second game or seen anything of it, but I know that there's a second one.
Dang, that's a good answer.
I need something with a replay loop if it's going to be only one game. If you were allowed to give me a series, that means I could just go through that same long story or saga of stories over and over. That burns time, just getting through a series of games. And if I had to pick a series, it's the Assassin's Creed series.
That's a really good one.
And I'll specify the Desmond Miles Assassin's Creed series. So that would be the first ever game all the way up to I think Assassin's Creed Syndicate or Assassin's Creed Rogue, one of those two. But it's almost 10 games, dude. It's a lot. Like it's the first game, second game, Brotherhood, 3, Revelation, Unity, Syndicate, Rogue. So 8-ish games that you can just play, and they're all of the same. They're all about the ancestors of the same dude.
That's pretty cool too.
And I loved the story all the way up. And I haven't played anything past that point. That's the only reason I'm saying I love the story up to that point, because I don't know the rest. And I made it a point that I don't want to watch playthroughs of it. In the instance that I one day go, yeah, I'll give it a try. But I've only ever heard, the game the series kind of fell off after I think it was, and Black Flag. Black Flag is a really good one.
I was about to bring that one up.
Which is a part of the same series.
Same series. Oh yeah.
Yep. So that's 9 games. But those are probably the only ones that I could just say I could go through. And plus, Black Flag alone, you have so much replayability. You can just sit there and sail the whole time.
Black Flag wouldn't have been a bad answer for your only one to bring.
It wouldn't have been, but I've
never played it, but I've heard I'm obsessed with.
Played it?
I've never played Black Flag. I haven't played any Assassin's Creed.
You haven't played a single Assassin's Creed?
It'll blow your mind, the games I haven't played. I studied game design in college, and there's like saying you love movies and you've never seen Citizen Kane.
I'm not going to tell you that you need to play them, but you missed out on a massive, massive, massive game series.
I feel you. Like whenever I try to introduce someone into a game series, and then they say, "Oh, I've never heard it." It's like I don't know how to communicate to them. It's like I am almost jealous of the amount of hours you have ahead of you of so much discovery and activity. It's almost crazy.
I will say personally that I think you would love Assassin's Creed.
I probably would. I love open world.
You would love it because it has granted, I know you love pirates, so Black Flag would be like your probably favorite game.
Oh, do I?
Black Flag would probably be your favorite game out of the series, but I think you would love the series as a whole up to a certain point. I don't know where the stop is, but I think you would love it up to a certain point. And I think that point would be where a lot of the early games, the combat system was purely cinematic almost. Like you would hit an attack button. It might do a strike and stagger an enemy, but most of the time you're playing as a master assassin. So you hit the attack button, and it just gives you this super crazy animation of you taking down an enemy, and that was it. And you can just do that with hordes of people as they're surrounding you, and it looks awesome.
That's pretty cool. I'm into a really good combat system. Like the first game when I was young, the first game I was introduced to that was like I was introduced to me because of the combat was the Batman Arkham series. Oh my cousin from England
Great
brought it with him, and
series.
he's like, "Dude, the fighting in this game is unreal." And it's just the way it's a different perspective than Assassin's Creed, but it's a similar third person kind of thing. But just the way that it locks on, and then that took me into like the Spider-Man series on the PlayStation, which was like even in my opinion. Oh, I'm also gonna light up another controversy here. Better than the Batman series with Spider-Man because like Spider-Man's acrobatics and stuff is just so much crazier. But anyways,
I can't argue that.
a good combat system really, really makes a game. But if I was on the desert island, so I guess I really couldn't really answer for the series.
Single copy game.
Before I answer mine, what system are you bringing with you to play all the Assassin's Creed game on?
The Xbox.
Xbox.
The system I played most of the Assassin's Creed games on was the 360. So you can tell how far back that was.
That's a fantastic answer.
But if I had to pick one game, which would be Hades, it's on the Switch.
Okay, I'm down with that. I like Hades too a lot. So if I was on the island or in the room or wherever, my game of choice would probably be Super Mario Sunshine.
That's so fair.
It's just so good. Like even 23 years later, it's like I still find new things, and I've played through the game so many times, and it's just one of those. It brings you back to nostalgia because if I'm castaway, I'm gonna need to be reminded of home. It brings the whole cast of characters into a 3D world, and obviously on the GameCube, I'd be bringing the GameCube with me. I've beaten the game so many times, and it's just one of those games where you pick it up and it's just like butter under your thumbs. It's like, oh man, he's flying around the screen, and then I remember distinctly, like as a kid, kids asking me like, how did you just do that? And I remember the action was if you're running in one direction, you switch directions quickly and then jump. He does like a side flip. And I remember being like, I don't know how I'm doing this. I remember
It's all feel.
It's all feel. And I remember I couldn't articulate that thought as a young kid.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I know how to do it. I just don't know how to say it. And then that would just spark more argument amongst the room. It's like, just say what you're doing. I'm like, that was the first time a game in my life was like, it is all feel to me.
Yeah.
And to this day, like all the actions, I'm still discovering
That's
new
the
ones.
same
It's crazy.
thing. That was with me in Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
I'm saying I'm going to strictly say the Assassin's Creed story because there were two titles in the entire series, and only two, and I don't know why it was only two because I think it's a fantastic idea. There were two games in the entire series that had multiplayer. Multiplayer for player versus player. Unity had a cooperative story.
What is Unity?
Assassin's Creed Unity is the...
Oh, I thought you were talking about the game dev
no.
system. My fault.
Assassin's Creed Unity is the French Revolution themed game.
That's the one that they used to like rebuild the Tour de France. Not
Yes.
Tour de France. I just said the Tour de France, man.
Yeah.
The effing Tour de France. I meant, don't say it. The Notre Dame. That's the game. Let's cut that loud. That's the game they used to rebuild the Notre Dame.
That's the one they made the Notre Dame.
Let's try one more time. That's the game they used to rebuild the Notre Dame when it burnt down.
Yes. It's probably it had the toughest launch out of the rest of the series, probably out of the ones that I've played. It has probably the smoothest parkour mechanics out of the entire game series. He just whispered parkour into the mic.
I barely whispered it. I almost inhaled it at myself.
Yeah, it has a great parkour system. I think all of them do. Don't you do it again.
It was an inhale. It was like a.
But they all did, and I think that was part of like that was my whole thing with you saying that a lot of it was feel. Like for me, that was the multiplayer PvP for Assassin's Creed, and I don't know if you knew that there was this mode. All it was that they, instead of playing the main characters, you played as the NPCs on the map, and it would be like a lobby of like, say, 8 players. And you would be playing where you're hunting down another NPC while also being hunted by a separate other. So
By a separate other?
Yeah, my bad.
Wait, fill me in.
So say you guys can't see them. So say you and I, Smitty and Sam, were all in the same game.
Okay.
Right? I could be trying to hunt down and eliminate you while also trying to hide from one of those two.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
And the whole point is trying to find out where your target is and get to them.
It's a mystery food chain.
To get your points while also being able to detect your tracker and either run away from them, or they have a stun that you can use to delay them and disarm them, and you get a chance to run away. And it was probably one of the funnest multiplayer games I've ever played as a kid. I still wish that they brought it back. They stopped it after Assassin's Creed 3, which I have no idea why. It was a fantastic game mode. I was a beast at that game. And Brent always got frustrated. He was just like, I don't know how you even like this game. I don't know how you're doing it so well. I'm like, it's all feel, personally. Because after a while, you just learn the body language difference between an NPC and a player.
Yeah.
Because that's all it is. You're trying to figure out which one of these characters is moving in a way that I know it's a player.
It's crazy how, like, every time we talk about video games, you almost, and I play a lot of it. I have played so many video games out like through my career. Like I said, I studied game design in college. It was my minor. And we did like full case studies, like where we play games, figure out what's good about it, figure out what's not good about it. And I was like, every time I talk to you, you bring something up about video games that just like shakes my mind. I'm like, what? It's not only the way like games operate that I've never heard of from your mouth, and then I like come to find out that it's like a common thing. It's also the fact that you introduce games to me that are like apparently worldwide phenomena. Phenomena. Do. And
that was really loud. Don't do that.
It was. I won't. I'm sorry about that, folks at home.
Stop whispering.
Okay. But then I do my own research on these games that you tell me about. And then I'm like, am I the only one in the world who hasn't heard of Helldivers 2?
Possibly.
Yeah. Like,
that's a very popular game.
I have that one now. Very good. I've played it. Very good. Very good.
Great game.
But when you were telling me about it, I'm like, this has to be some sort of like indie thing.
No. A lot of the games that I'm telling you about, Assassin's Creed, very mainstream. Helldivers 2, extremely mainstream, at least in the PC world. I don't really know about consoles.
I mean, it's on all PlayStation.
It's on all platforms.
It's on everything. It's huge. And it's like, you see the player count. It's like, that is not small numbers.
Those two games, very mainstream. I mean, Sam put us both on Hades. I can't really take credit for that one.
That's true. But I guess it also like kind of goes to show. It's like we were talking earlier in the episode. Is like we've always been happy people, but you've always been more calm, and I've always been more frantic. Mm-hmm. But it's like here but you and I put thousands of hours into video games. It's crazy. It's part of our personalities, like who we are now.
Yeah.
But it's like you are the kind of person who has like 1,800 different titles under your thing. But I'm the one who has 1,800 hours on one game.
Yep.
On one game, which is just absurd.
Yep. You will play every possible ounce out of a game.
Yeah.
I will play a game to either main story completion, main story and side quest completion, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
The gameplay loop ends for me at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time. A lot of games actually I go back to after a while. Like I'll leave it, I'll go play something else, and then I go, man, I missed this game, and then I'll pick it back up. And one of those games is Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves, that pirate game.
That's one that I
keep telling you about.
I still haven't picked it up, so I haven't played it.
I think it's on Xbox. I think it's on Xbox and PC right now. I don't know if it's on PlayStation.
I got PlayStation, bro.
Is it on? Do you have it on PlayStation?
I'm about to get the Switch too.
Oh, you actually? So you're 1000% getting it.
I think so.
We have been talking about whether or not we should be getting the Switch 2 for like weeks now.
Bro, talk to me about the Switch 2.
I have very limited knowledge on it, other than the fact that they're making the game titles that they drop on it a lot more expensive than they used to be.
Ridiculously.
For the especially for the quality of game that's coming out. I'm not saying that they're bad games, but when the only difference between the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 is the screen size and the rate at which it plays,
Yeah.
I shouldn't be paying $85 for Mario Kart.
That's a good point. It's like, I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm saying I've never in my life paid $90 to play a video game. Like I outside of the system, I've never paid $90.
Well, that's with a lot of mainstream games, though. Like a lot of or at least that I've seen, a lot of the new Call of Duty games that come out, they drop at like $70, dude.
What?
The new Call of Duty game. The new
I also don't play Call of Duty. Maybe I just don't play video games.
No, I don't play Call of Duty. Not anymore. I played it in like 4th grade when I definitely shouldn't have been playing it. And then
we all had Black Ops.
Yeah, and everybody, and you were in lobbies with grown men getting cussed at.
The target audience for the early Black Ops game. I'm not saying I've never played Call of Duty. The target audience were those who were not supposed to have that game.
Absolutely.
Not. Yeah.
Most of the people that were playing Call of Duty were not 18. Mm-mm. Their dad probably got it, played it for like a day.
Which made it so much better.
Yes. Went, oh my God, this game is so violent. And then put it down and went to do something else. And you hopped on and you're just like, this is the best thing I've ever seen.
Holy crap. When you're playing through the Black Ops campaign and you pick up a minigun for the first time, dude, that is like the equivalent to injecting Airheads Extremes into the brain of a pilgrim. It's crazy. Like, you're not supposed to be having and playing this game right now. I remember this summer I got Black Ops.
It's like introducing a chili Dorito to a Victorian child. Like, you're just...
Here, kid, eat this purple bag. Yeah. What's in it?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Anyway, yeah, Call of Duty, that was definitely one of them.
That was Smitty.
Is that what that was off camera?
Yep. Yeah, that was Smitty. That's easily a her sneeze. I didn't even need to be looking at her. I knew that was her. But yeah, that was God, Black Ops, man.
Black Ops, dude.
We were not supposed to be playing Call of Duty at all. But what I was trying to say was a lot of the Call of Duty games that come out nowadays, like we paid when we were kids, the Call of Duty games came out for maybe $45-$50.
Seriously,
which was expensive for back then.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's expensive now.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that I would be like, oh, I wish every game was $50. I wish every game was maybe $20.
Seriously,
you and I have been passing around the same $20 for the past 10 years now.
Yeah,
all right. There's a good chance that if you and I decided, let's get a video game, if we ended up stopping passing around that same $20, we would have the money to just put into a video game. But,
you're probably right.
Yeah. Because we always end up just going, oh yeah, here.
Yeah,
and
here,
it's 20.
Here. Yeah.
And it's 20 and it stays 20.
Yeah. That is the fair increment of like friendship transactions though.
Yeah.
$20
is
it's
$20.
generous, but it's not crazy.
Exactly.
It's
but yeah, $20 is a decent price for a game to me. $50 is still expensive to me. Mm-hmm. New Call of Duty games come out at like $70, $75 for like the premium version or whatever it is that gives you like maybe like an extra skin or something. Mm-hmm. And then you get the game, you install it, you go to play, and everything else that seems fun or colorful or appealing to you is locked behind another paywall. So now you got to pay You're putting in at least $100-something into this game for whatever skins you get when you play, on top of buying the license for the game, not a copy of the disc.
A license.
The license. That's the thing. When you buy a game online, you're buying the license to play. You're not buying a digital copy.
You don't. Yeah, it's crazy how you're paying for something.
You're paying for
own.
Permission to play.
Like you don't own your video game anymore.
Yeah, you're paying for permission to play.
That is what the Switch 2 is doing. The Switch 2 is doing like so.
That's the next thing I was going to get onto, is that I don't like that they're doing the same thing, because there was a whole controversy. I forget what game it was. I think it was Midnight Club, but there was a car game. I think it was a car game on Sony, on Sony's Play Store, like that you could buy the license for and play on your PlayStation, right? And one day, because the game is so old, the game came out when you and I were like 7 or 8, but the game was so old and dead that they decided to take it off of the market, and they took it off the market. So that means that the license is no longer purchasable or usable. So then it removed itself from everybody's systems who had the license.
So it retroactively
they
said,
they took
screw
the game.
your money.
They took the game.
Adam's going to reach into your PlayStation and take it. That's out of control.
They took the game. It happened.
They took the game.
They took it from you. They said, "Yep, we're done." Like
I did. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's insane.
I did the Switch. This is definitely things that the Switch 2 are doing. But what else? I think even before the Switch 2, as of recording this, it's June 1st, 2025. The Switch 2 is not out. It's going to be...
I thought it was the second that it came out.
When does it come out?
It's either
can we get a voice of God? Can we get a voice of God?
Is it the
thank you to our producers.
The second or the fifth?
It comes out soon regardless, but as of recording, it comes out in
the
like...
5th?
June 5th.
The 5th.
It comes out in like 4 days?
Pre-orders have already started.
Pre-orders have started. So
it
officially
idea,
drops on the 5th.
So I have no idea whether I'm getting it or not then. Because I don't even... This is how little bit I care about... I shouldn't say care about. This is how little this console is emotionally moving me, because I'm so detached from it. Because what I was going to say is, even before the Switch 2, the Switch 1 really kind of put an edge on handheld versus console games.
Yes.
Because I remember I was in high school and Pokemon Ultra Sun came out. And the video game store down the street from me, it's a family-owned video game store, so I'll always support them. I pre-ordered it through them, and they were kind of cool. They were like, hey, we're not going to do a midnight release, but if you want to come down tonight, you can pick up your copy of the game, so you don't have to swing by tomorrow. You can play it tonight. And I was like, in little 17-year-old Max's mind, I was like, I'm getting the game a day early. The internet is going to be... absolutely blindsided by what I'm about to play. And so I drove down to the store and I bought that game for $40. A brand new game on my 3DS.
$40, man.
It might have been 60. Granted, but I'm pretty sure it was 40. The DS, the 3DS family, was the last kind of mainstream video game to be introduced at that price point. And then the Switch came out and it almost seemed worth $60 to start paying for these games, because it's a game you can put it on your TV or it could be
they were just catching up with the rest of the market at that point.
Yeah.
Because a lot of like 3DS games, DS games were cheap. DS games were cheap, even if they were new copies.
And they were good.
They were very good.
They were
great.
Good, man.
I still miss my old DS games. You remember Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games?
Yes.
Played that game into the ground.
Yes.
Every time that I met a new kid that also had a DS, and I was, little 12-year-old me.
I had the Winter Olympic Games.
Yeah, me too.
Man.
Little 12-year-old me, I played that thing to death.
Oh yeah.
I love that game. And that was the first thing that was my 2K. That was my 2K.
Man.
The first thing I did, you got Mario and Sonic. It's like some other kid like, yeah, I got it. First thing we do, link up. We got to figure this out. Yep. First thing we do, 100-meter.
Mm-hmm. Dude, and like the DS was something magical that Nintendo did, because that was when like you've never seen anything with 2 screens before.
Never.
Now you no longer need that cable to play with your friend. which I used.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That little
we no
connector
longer need this
adapter.
cable. You know, it's crazy. And so we were entering this beautiful world of new technology where information is now sine waves through the air. It's crazy. And like it was magic happening right in front of our very eyes. But now those kids have grown up. And like you said, Nintendo is just constantly catching up. And so for a company to be constantly catching up nowadays, to put a $90 price tag,
Insane.
it's insane.
Insane.
And it's like,
and you can't convince me that it's not, because even new games that are coming out on PC and console right now are still only topping out at about $70, which is still an insane number, but it's less than $85, $90.
this one's even crazier to me. Let's take it back to the DS too, because the DS also had that big slot on the bottom for your Game Boy game. Do you remember this?
Yes.
Yeah. And so
they stopped that after a while, though.
Backwards compatibility, bro.
Yeah.
So that is the greatest thing that Nintendo like flexed for so long. You can stick your Game Boy game into the DS. You can stick your GameCube game into the Wii. But now I want to take my Switch 1 game and put it into my Switch 2, and I see another $15 price tag.
They charge you?
Are
you backwards compatible?
Yeah. No, so kind of. If you can play the Switch 1 version of the Breath of the Wild, if you put it into your Switch 2, but to play the enhanced Switch 2 version, to get the cool red border around it, it's gonna be $15, bro.
Just to make the game, just to bring the game up to the current
up
console?
to the quality of the console that you own, bro. That is a business model I've never even fathomed, and all of us adult children are just gonna go pour our wallets into this.
Adult children.
I don't know if I have this console pre-ordered or not, but it's like I am.
That's a gamble, dude.
It is a gamble.
That's a massive gamble.
I don't support it spiritually, but the games are just so hard to say no to, man.
That's so fair,
dude. We're getting open world Mario Kart.
Yeah. Open world Mario Kart's gonna be insane. I mean, is it still super, super expensive? Yes. Do I agree that it's expensive? Absolutely not. I think it should be cheaper. But I've already beaten that horse into the ground a lot. And so I'm trying not to.
Yeah.
Even further, you know?
But, okay, so your Mario Kart main. I know your Mario Party main.
Monty Mole.
Is Monty Mole, correct.
Yeah,
of course.
Yes, sir.
But before Monty Mole was accessible, what was your go-to character?
Before Monty Mole is accessible?
Yeah, because
isn't he in the starting cast for Mario Kart World?
For Mario, absolutely he is.
Yeah,
he is. He's going to be on there. I'm saying, like, if you were to open up Mario Kart Wii right now, you wouldn't find Monty Mole. Luigi, okay.
Luigi or Waluigi.
Because to some degree, I almost think like which Mario character you choose in Mario Kart is almost more indicative than your zodiac sign.
It's either Luigi or Waluigi.
Oh yeah,
one of those two.
I mean, I'm Donkey Kong no matter what game.
That's so fair.
If I can choose Donkey Kong, or even better,
that's very fair.
Funky Kong, heck yeah.
Yeah, that's very fair.
But like I said, I think there's so many more ways to get someone's personality out of them besides like when they were born and their star signs. Like, dude,
that's a really good comparison.
Who do you drop?
You like to think that what you choose in Mario Kart is greater than or equal to somebody being like, oh, I'm a Sagittarius.
Because back in the day, it didn't. I'm a Capri Sun.
Yeah, I'm not worried about your sign, girl. Who you play on Mario Kart?
I'm a Prius. Because back in the day, it didn't matter who you chose in Mario Kart. Like, your stats were going to be the same regardless. You know? So, being able to see someone's process of looking at the screen and selecting one of, at the time, I don't know, 8 characters?
Yes.
And they choose something different than you. That's fascinating to me.
That's so fair, though.
It's like, you chose a princess? Bro, how about this red dude?
Yeah, the plumber.
Yeah.
This red plumber dude who everybody everybody somehow knows.
Yeah. Actually, Donkey Kong was in the original. He was in the original Mario Kart.
Was he?
He must have been.
I don't remember.
Eventually we'll have someone to be Googling this stuff off camera.
Don't remember.
Yeah. So on the
But we got here from the desert island
We did get here from the desert island question.
Yeah, that was a good question though. That was a really
Yeah,
good question.
I wanted to get your raw take on it because I asked it at the bar the other night, but trivia was just so freaking
You
crazy.
did. That was us. Yeah, that was us at trivia night.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong was not in the original Mario Kart one.
He was not.
He wasn't.
He was
He was
not.
added as a playable character in Mario Kart 64 on the Nintendo 64.
I was close. It wasn't on the SNES. But yeah, we do trivia on Thursdays too.
Yeah,
Can I tell you? Okay,
every Thursday.
we go to a trivia. I hope this guy's not going to watch this episode. He
Don't
won't,
say
right?
his name.
I don't know his name.
Good. Then it makes it easy.
Okay, cool. The guy that we
Just don't say the name of the dude or the restaurant, and we're in a good space.
I think we can start to like agree. We need to find a new trivia guy, right?
We're in a tough spot. I'm gonna give context. We were there last week, and I think we were in the Family Feud section of trivia night, and the question was, name something that people change frequently, and we thought, we thought that the number one answer would be clothes, and I thought that was a pretty good answer. Turns out the number one answer was change their minds. And everybody at the table looked at each other real confused. And his little side comment.
This is very true.
His little side comment after saying change their minds was, especially women, am I right? And everybody got a little grossed out.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it, because it's not like we were offended per se, because that is just like the easiest backhanded. But I think it was that comment that really made us realize like we are spending our hard-earned money on trivia that is just so outdated for our tastes.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
like that is an outdated.
It was a little lame, a little antiquated of a joke. Like we're a little past the age of
Yeah. Not only the comment, but like the questions are designed for people born way earlier than us. Like those are not questions designed for us.
These Family Feud questions were like definitely like questions that would have only been relevant to like maybe kids in the 70s or 80s.
If you have a name that tune section in your trivia and one of those songs starts up with the sound of a record player beginning to get a gramophone beginning to get cranked up, you might be a little bit out of your target audience.
A little bit.
But then again, we might not be the right target audience because we are definitely the youngest people in there by decades.
Regularly.
So we like Trivia Thursdays. That's when I asked you that question, but I think we need to start finding new trivia.
It might not be a bad idea. I mean outside of obviously the one joke.
Yes.
Outside of the one joke, I haven't had an issue with him.
I don't get an issue with it. He's an old guy. Oh, my dad makes stupid jokes like that all the time. Old guys are going to make old jokes.
It happens all the time.
We're fine with that. We don't support that mentality, but we understand. Now, on the other hand, why don't we host trivia?
Where would we host it at?
We should kick that guy out.
That would be
hysterical.
That would be a horrible idea.
That guy had one.
Nobody is going to want to like. All right, tell me a name that tune that you would pick.
Scoot it, doot it, scoot it, doot it, scoot it, doot it.
Please stop.
Okay.
It's Usher's Yeah.
It would be.
That's an argument that I had.
That's another episode.
For a whole nother time.
That's another episode.
I'm not even going to get into that today. That's going to stress me out.
I think my earliest name that tune would probably land on like the Beach Boys or the Beatles.
You can't see her right now, but I was just giving somebody the stink eye. Her name's Sam.
Yeah, that's a different story behind Usher's.
You were saying?
Yeah. I think in a name that tune, if I was going to host a bar for trivia night filled with people our age plus or minus 15 years.
Okay.
So let's say we're going up to 40 years and going down to like 10-year-olds, okay?
Yes.
My earliest one would probably be either like the Beach Boys or the Beatles. So I would probably go back to the 40s.
So the 40s?
That was oh God. Oh no, did I just really out myself? Of like not knowing when the Beatles were from? No, they had to have been from the 40s. 60s. Not that early is what I'm trying to get at. That's the earliest I know. I don't know years. I'm gonna look stupid
the
here.
40s?
I don't know when the Beatles are from. Have you heard it? Do you like the Beatles? What?
The 60s.
It was.
You
it
were
was.
20 years off.
I'm 20 years old, man.
Yeah.
25.
Yeah.
Who's counting?
But my whole thing is, you're saying that you would pick the Beatles for a group in trivia night for pick that tune or name that tune for people our age.
Yes, I would.
But you have a problem with the name that tunes that he's picking when they're coming from the 50s.
Because I think he's choosing.
He's picking obscure songs.
I mean, yeah, very obscure.
From the same
The
time
Beatles
period.
is right down the main street of rock and roll. You know?
I mean, not that
Right
obscure.
down Abbey Road.
They're not that obscure. I said that as a very much overstatement.
I'm saying
Sam knows all of the name that tune things. We heavily rely on her every time that we go there when it comes to name that tune, unless I have a good day.
This is true. I named that tune is actually a bad example. I agree with you because Sam actually did kind of pick up on that category. Sam kind of cleared that category.
She
for
clears
us.
the table every time.
That's maybe
Easily.
Maybe you guys just need a better fourth member than me because I don't think I contributed anything to. But see, I don't like these notes because then it makes me think, and then there's dead air. We're getting production notes that we just hit our hour, which I think is fine.
Tell you that's been an hour.
I don't know. You're right. I have been checking though.
You didn't check for a little while, though.
I've been checking. Holy crap, dude, that was a good episode. Wrap it up. Let's wrap it up, people.
It's been an hour already, man.
Holy crap, that was easy.
That was the first episode for Barely There. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's been a time in the making.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed his voice.
I hope you enjoyed his voice.
The ultimate goal is something in production. It's something in making TV or movies or something beautiful, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's baby steps from here.
Baby steps.
It
tiny,
is.
tiny steps.
And I think this is just like a really good way to start something that's bigger than ourselves that we can put our names on so that it's like later down the line when we like find real success, we have an example of what we did to build ourselves.
I can't wait to go back to this footage like years from now and be like, dude, we were so lame.
I can't wait to go back to this
With
footage
this
in
equipment.
15 minutes and be like, oh my God, no one's going to watch this. That's going to be...
Everybody's going to hate this.
I guess we should...
This is terrible.
We should close kind of how we wanted to, though. We wanted to talk about like the mission of the show.
Yes.
Because like I guess that's kind of where all this all ties in.
Yep.
And barely there, we're going to try to avoid calling it a podcast. It eventually, it's going to be called a podcast endless times, but it is a show. Barely There is a variety show between me and my best friend who are just freaking idiots about any topic you could bring up. But our main mission is to create an experience that could either be watched or listened to, or obviously both. I mean, you're not going to watch it without
It gives
audio.
you accessibility.
It gives you accessibility because I worked for years in Delaware. We're recording in East Pennsylvania right now, and I had to drive an hour and a half south to get to work, and then an hour and a half north to get home every single day. And I listened to so many podcasts, especially like with people with their brothers or their best friends. Like I listened to the Low Priori podcast, The Basement Yard, like so much. And what I loved about them is just their kind of connection to each other. But what I wanted to do differently is turn it into an experience that you can bring home after work and see what happens for your very own eyes and see what we do. So when we do things over the ears, oh, I like that. Like right now, oh, okay.
Over the ears.
When we do stuff over the ears, I'm going to take my time and not wrap. You don't have to tell me to wrap it up. We have plenty of time on the camera. Now I'm all messed up.
Over the ears.
When we do stuff over the ears, we'll do our best to kind of describe what's happening so you can kind of get the visual idea
Yes.
and I think complying to that constraint is going to bring some real creativity out of us.
Yeah, for sure. And we're definitely going to be having to do a lot of other things for the visual aspect. We're going to be doing some activities, some games here and there. Probably.
Oh yeah.
Doing some things to engage you guys.
Engage the noodle.
Yeah, engage the noodle.
Wait, that's not what we were talking about.
No.
You're talking about them. I was talking about me.
Oh,
I love talking about me, man.
word.
Do we have to wrap up? I can talk about me for like 3 more hours.
Eventually, we have to.
Okay,
And
we're running out of data space on that camera. All right. Okay, this is our call to action before we leave. We need a coffee table. We do. We need a coffee table.
I would love a coffee table.
Yeah.
I would love a coffee table. We need to find one. We need to find one, or we need to get recommended one.
So, let us know what you would like to see. Would you rather send us your craziest coffee table you've ever seen, or are Brendan and I about to compete to see who can find the most barely useful coffee table anyone's ever seen?
I would just like a nice coffee table to have a place to put my coffee when I'm here.
Yeah, because we got to do coffees next time.
We do need to do coffee next time, or at least some point down the road. But that's it.
Don't forget to like, follow, and share to support the dreams of 2 starving gentlemen.
Yeah, please. That would be really nice of all of you, or one of you, whichever one that might be.
I love you, bro. I love you guys, and we'll see you next time.
Oh my God.